well.
Okay.
Because it does come down to the point that last time these two teams faced around, there was an incredible bot differential from the side of Bifrost that really just caused them to take over the game. It wasn't really a proper League of Legends game being played because X7 never really got to display like the different tools they had in their arsenal in terms of what the top side and mid lane could have looked like against it, because Odie just completely ran away with it.
Yes.
Now we finally get to have a clean sheet again, and especially from the side of X7 where they can actually displays how well oiled of a machine they can be when they're a 5-man unit together. I was going to say that, but then they came in with this draft that is kind of very individual and all over the place, because you have a lot of playmakers, you have a Vayne to play for, you have a Twitch to play for, and you have the 2v2 with Haru and Tempt on a Lee Sin and a Ryze. So that's just all at that place, already so many things to play for that can be a little bit difficult if you start falling behind.
This is very true. This is the discussion that we often have. It's a case of either having lots of different options, so you make that decision. It's difficult to the other team to play around it because you can go anywhere and do anything. But on the other hand, you might want to put resources. You're going to have to leave someone weak side or not give them as much attention. And if Bifrost decide, oh, we see that you're not playing around this Vayne, which maybe you should be, we're going to be able to go and abuse that. So it's going to be really, really fascinating to see exactly what X7 do with this kind of crazy draft that they've got going on. But junglers starting on opposite sides, we could see some early action in a couple of lanes.
Yeah, let's take off from that. So Lee Sin spotted on the red buff. Blue War Trinket has already been placed, while on the side of Bifrost, Seaboy has not been spotted yet, and there's been no aggressive wards. So with this intel in mind, what you're kind of looking for is how the bot lane from the side of Bifrost will play it. Because if they can crash the wave on 3 and just recall, they'll kind of recall at the moment Lee Sin is going to be bot, and Haru won't really get to utilize as much of the pressure as he wanted to. What Haru then in turn can do to stop this is that he can skip camps on the Lee Sin to come before the first wave crashes and then try and see if he can burn some summoners on Odie. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's the strategy he's going to apply. Of course, on the other side of the map, Seaboy, he is going to be making his way up towards that Vayne. Oh, Jewel!
He might be in trouble. Caught up under the tower, takes one shot, but Nata not able to get the damage down too quickly. Level 1 Twitch isn't really able to do that, but, you know, aggression, but maybe a little bit too much.
A little bit. Seaboy hovering around the mid lane. Tempt does still have Flash and Face Rush available.
Looking to run
good charm.
By the charm, though. Flash forward from Seaboy, looking for the first blood. Tempt will return it, but I don't know if he gets out of this one alive. Flash through from Ari, secures first blood.
Yeah, and all in all, just a little bit of a blunder from the side of Tempt. He saw the charm come through from Fury, didn't flash it in time, and just like that, follow-up CC from the Volley Bear. Great first blood picked up from Bifrost, and essentially and especially from Fury as well, who's been having a really rough time in the league so far, finding his footing as a mid laner.
It's really, really great to see. Obviously, if we're keeping an eye on, has got the electrocute, so it will be APRE, none of the nonsense.
I am so tired of seeing ADRE, okay? I get it, it's fun, but it reminds me of old school machine gun Lulu, where it's like, look, it can work. Yes, we get it, but sometimes as an AP, it just seems to work a little bit better. And speaking of builds, Fury has been one of the few Ari players that actually hasn't opted in for the Everfrost route, but more of the aggressive Luden's Echo route, which our own Ari enthusiast Nymera is really much a big fan of.
Does Nymera play Ari?
I'm actually not too sure, but he speaks about it a lot.
Yeah. He can't play it because he's spending too much time talking about it.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
There's not enough hours in the day for both, but with you picking up that first blood, getting online and getting that really large amount of damage. And look, we talked about how X7 have a carry for all occasions, right? You've got the front line Vayne, back line Twitch. Looking through their composition, you've got a Nautilus who will get pretty beefy, but of course is support, so it doesn't really get the itemization.
Yeah.
And you've got the Ryze, which is going to potentially go pretty beefy as well if you go for that Everfrost, Frozen Heart, Fimbulwinter situation.
You get to be a little bit of an extra frontliner in that sense, yes, but it's only towards the mid game, right? Or at least when you finished up those items. And that's where you want to play for your reliable backline carry, which of course will be the Twitch, it will be the Vayne. Jaeger as well, running the Ghost, which of course resets on kills too. So it's like, not only do you get a prolonged ultimate from Vayne, you also get the extra Ghost coming in hot. But that's something that we're going to be looking at towards the mid game, because right now in the early game, there's not too many tools from the side of X7. If there was to be one, it'd be here in the mid lane.
It will be Haru supplying it, but sneaking in, doesn't find an angle and will leave. Or will still hang around, actually. Hasn't decided to fully commit to going elsewhere, as in the bot lane duel A little bit of slow C-Boy hanging around. Hasn't been spawned out on that ward because it has been turned off. Fury needs to be a little bit careful. Caught up by the root, but gets a nice charm onto Haru. It won't matter, though, as he gets the kick in the first kill of the game for X7.
Brilliant setup. Once again, Tempt and Haru, the almost infamous duo in our league here. And Fury just coming out with the charm a little bit too early. Remember, the charm actually stopped dashes from coming through, but Haru baited it nicely by Wing onto Tempt instead, then finishing up the kill with the Sonic wave afterwards. So responding back with the jungle aggression in the mid lane instead. Great to see from X7, stabilizing a bit.
Especially in that mid lane, picking up the kill. It going over to Haru is nice because the Lee Sin will be able to move that small advantage around the map, getting things going elsewhere. And we talked about how many options X7 have to play around as Duel just hanging around. Shikari's hit 6, needs to put some pressure down, but Jaeger going to get that condemn. And this is something that they talked about on Desk as well. The idea of Vayne is quite hard to get onto because you talked about the resets, the Ghost, even aggressively. But all of the engage coming through in Bifrost, there's not that much point and click. And there's not that much range engage.
That's the thing as well. But I mean, it can come down to some execution as well. You know, one charm or one misstep from Jaeger where he gets too close to Shikari. That can spell disaster. Even here, you see it in the laning phase. Like, yes, Vayne is super annoying when she just gets to pile down her 3 auto attacks, out-trade you. But if you get on top of her, if you nail her to the wall, as this now when you get the mecha and you actually get the stun down, that entire sequence of combos you nail through is actually going to be doing a massive amount of damage that can be beneficial to the Na.
Absolutely. And one of the more interesting things that we've got this time around. Game is dead even coming into the 7-minute mark. First Dragon went over to Bifrost. Inferno will be spawning up in 4 minutes' time, but it's the other side of the map that we should be interested in. As you can see, Odie and Duel moving up towards that top side. We've got Rift Herald spawning in about a minute. We haven't seen a response yet from X7. Do you think they're going to go up there, or do you think they'll let it go?
Well, the thing is, this is a very early rotation. Usually, you don't see it come through this early into the game, but I think it's also just due to the fact that they might be able to stack up some waves here, move it in towards the Vayne. She's not very good under a tower dive situation, especially if there's multiple members. And as you can already see on the minimap, Fury was able to gain the first move from the mid lane by pushing in the wave. C-Boy is in the back as well, and the vision control is actually not too much in the favor of X7. So in the minimap in return, you can see Jaeger forced to forfeit this entire wave. Haru disengaging with a kick too.
Yeah, and Jaeger putting in, trying to find out Duel, and won't be able to find the first shot as Odie gets onto that tower, gets himself a plate, a bit of gold in pocket for the Jinx. We've seen what Jinx can do today already. Azator unfortunately didn't manage to win on it, but was definitely the focal point of the team. And for Bifrost, we know that Odie can do this. In the reverse fixture, it was all about Odie and Duel in that bot side, and this game could well be the same. Rift Herald is about to make his way onto our screens. X7 now have rotated up Natter and Kasane. They were much slower, but they're still on time.
They are, but that also gives Shikari some time alone with the turret plating down towards the bot side. Shikari does have TP as well, does not have the Mega now. He just Mega'd out, so it's going to take some time. There we go. It's finally started stacking up that little rage bar. So Bifrost, they can start this up. They can wait for the perfect moment where Shikari finally gets the Narbor filed up and then just come in with a TP flank ward.
Oh, Fury and Tempt having a bit of a scrap in the mid lane. Nice dancing, nice feet from Tempt as he gets the damage down, but can't get that last Q for the burst. And as you can see on the top of your screen right now, Bifrost are going to be able to take away this Rift Herald. So, you know, turning up early definitely paid off. Early bird gets the worm. And Odie's actually the one who's picked up the eye.
Honestly, great rotation there from Bifrost. Yeah, it was a little bit early, but it was something you didn't expect from the side of X7. Knowing Vayne didn't do too well, you know, with low resources alone in a lane, just meant that they had to back it off. Once that Shikari's down towards the bot side, he was fine being there, catching the wave, collecting it, staying on the tower, because he did have that teleport if a fight were to break up on the top side of the map, which is what, you know, usually when we have the AD carries down towards the bot side, they want to get the plating for themselves. It's usually either we go Rift Herald or we leave this for a bot lane. But by putting up their bot lane that early in the sequence, they get to just get everything on the map, really.
What do you make of Odie securing the eye for himself?
I mean, I've actually under the impression that it's been too long where teams have not adapted to this change.
Okay.
Actually. Because most of the time, when you're moving your AD carry up towards to get Rift Herald anyway, just give it to your AD carry. 70% of the time when Rift Herald is used, when you have a Jinx on the team, you're using it on the Jinx anyway. Why rob her of half the gold she's going to be getting from the turret plates if you can just help with the setup, force away your enemy, and then just use the entire Herald for the AD carry themselves? Like, I'm actually baffled that we always see junglers go for it, because if the moment is there for it, I genuinely believe the AD carry should just take it.
And it's clearly something that Bifrost have discussed because you've got that rotation up. We don't always see bot lanes, especially marksmen, going up. Sometimes they'll stay bot and just grab themselves an extra couple of waves. But now Odie's going to have that cash in to use as soon as they see fit. And still a couple of minutes left on plates as well, so he's going to be able to get that massive amount of money.
But it's going to be about round playing with the first move here. So Fury, he can push in this mid lane. He can make his way down towards the bot side, allow that extra bot lane to have the pressure. You need some more vision, especially because the Drake is spawning in just 1 minute. You already got the first Mountain Drake on the side of Bifrost. If you can accelerate the game even greater, it's going to be nice because X7's team composition is not very good at face checking.
Oh, and there's the Rift Herald going to be dropped down mid, so it's not actually going to be giving solo, but they're going to dive towards Tempt. He's going to be able to survive, moves away, dodges out from the ultimate as well as Haru comes in. Duel gets the gobble, and we'll be able to spit C-Boy back out into safety, but Fury might not be so lucky. Haru gets the kick. It's not enough damage, though, and C-Boy will be able to rip through the jungler of X7. The Rift Herald is still working as Nata on the bot side, as you can see, trying to grab some plates in return. But Bifrost seems to be running the Rift right now.
Yeah, brilliant execute there from the side of Bifrost. And the fact Jewel turned on to the support to the last moment where Haru dived in was actually crucial in Fury's survival as well. At the same time, can just teleport down towards the bot side with the reset. Actually surprised we didn't see C-Boy commit even further because he still did have that Stormbringer on Volibear.
Would have been able to turn off the tower and make that dive last a little bit longer or be a little bit safer. Now Bifrost leaving their bot lane in the mid lane, just going to be able to push through and try and take down this tower, because breaking open the map this early on will be so nice for them.
And not only that, if you can get the mid lane turret this early on, it's going to be crucial in terms of opening up the other side lanes. You can push in mid lane, it's going to be a deep shot, you're going to have a way easier access to the side lanes through the enemy jungle, and just starting to contest their camps even more easily since you don't have that mid lane turret being a thorn in your side. But resets has still not come through from the side of Bifrost. You can see Odie just back now to pick up the Kraken Slayer, and because of that, a tempo advantage is in favor of X7, and they're able to net themselves their first neutral objective. I was taking a look at the inventory real quick here as well, Will, and as you can actually see, Twitch is actually going the AP route with his AD carry up towards the top side, which is quite interesting as well. It makes sense in terms of the damage you have on the team right now, because Ryze is going to go for a tanky build anyway. Jaeger is going to be your AD carry. That's also going to be dealing true damage. And then with the Twitch, you'll be the remaining AP source. That
is really a nice adaptation. You're still going to be doing tons of damage, especially when the Twitch is likely to be going for those squishier members. When you've got the Vayne, who can already deal with the Volibear, the Gnar, the Tahm Kench as well, whether you're really focusing him or not is the question in those team fights later on, but you're still going to want to kill him eventually. And with Twitch just being able to blow up the Jinx and the Ahri, if he can get in position, it doesn't really matter if you've got AP or AD, in all honesty, depending on itemization. But it is really nice to see X7 going that different route. Bifrost just moving upriver. Of course, we've got the Hex Gates over the map now, so a little bit more maneuverability for teams across the map.
Oh, Nata needs to be careful here. He doesn't see the knockup coming.
Knocked up, has to flash over the Chombers. Will be able to do so, though. Nice defensive play from Nata. That's a key resource burnt.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with it, because you're not seeing some Kench all too often, that Abyssal dive you have on your W there, if you're in vision and you use it, they'll see the indicator of where you're coming from. But if you're out of vision and you use it, they don't actually see you coming. And that's why Nata just didn't react with the flash quick enough in that instance.
And now we're going to see another wave crashing down. Odie going to get caught up under it, though. Going to be hit with the dredge line. The damage coming through. Duel will try and get him out, but Kasing is chasing on aggressively. Nata has gone invisible. He was hiding, but won't be able to find the Jinx. Very close to a kill, but this is the power of the Kench. Yeah, and it's why it's picked in this instance as well. It's just the amount of safety you have is unrivaled at the moment, and we're still waiting for the time where we get to see one of these turrets taken. You can smell it as well from the side of Bifrost. Yeah. They're giving a lot of resources around this mid lane to make sure they can take it down. Turret plating will fall in just about 1 second, which will take away some of that resistance. But Fury needs to be careful. His team is on a reset, and he can't step up here. The gold lead is only about 1.5 to 2,000 for Bifrost, which is good for them. As you said, they're still going to have opportunity to take down these towers much easier with the plates having fallen off. And that mid lane tower is one concerted push away from opening up the entire map. And let's just quickly reiterate the stakes as well while we're having a reset coming through. Because Bifrost currently have the head-to-head against X7. If X7 were to win this game, they would just get first place. But if they lose to Bifrost now and lose the rest of their games and Bifrost win the rest of their game, they can actually be pushed out. It's a crazy scenario, but it does exist. And also from the side of Bifrost, they want to get up there and contest for that top 2 spot, especially with XL losing out against Astralis today. Absolutely, and XL needing to get into that top 2. The expectations were so high for that roster. Bifrost coming in and contesting them would be huge, even if X7 still take the top spot as the weeks go on. Temp needs to be a little bit careful, dumping away, but nice dredge line onto Fury. He's going to dive away with his ultimate as Odie on the back is looking for targets. Temp might be the one looking for more auto. We'll be able to find it with C-Boy's help. Odie is untouched and running rampant. I see Jaeger diving around, has the ultimate running, but gets stunned up, taken low as the rest of Bifrost are just chasing through. Odie gets a kill on the back off screen, but Naza will finally secure the return kill. But he's so low. Bifrost might actually look to go for the dive, but he is invisible. Another fight goes the way of Bifrost.
Yeah, there we have it. And it's just the fact that X7's team composition is not really designed for these team fights in the early game. You need the items on the Vayne and on the Twitch in a scenario where you're able to deal multiple damage on multiple members. Just didn't come through. And it also the fact that Bifrost was actually the one that initiated the play. Beautiful charm on towards Tempt as well. Jewel finding Harrow in the jungle.
Yeah, this should be a 1v1 that Lee Sin wins over time, but with Fury coming through, Kasing and Tempt, it might become more like a skirmish as Rift Herald number 2 has been started up by Bifrost. I don't know if X7, they're going to see it, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it.
No, and this is great from it. Oh, where did that mob go? Okay, went up towards the top side. I thought Tempt was sending some shenanigans in the bot line, the back line there, but no. Having a look at the replay again, Tempt initially doesn't get caught by the Everfrost. Reinitiation come through from Kasing, but the members are just not there. It's beautiful positioning from the side of Bifrost. They're playing around nicely with their tempo. And Jaeger, yeah, you can try and come in and join the backline, but you only really have to hope rig at this instance. Yeah, it was me all along. Twitch comes in, AP,
it's
boom,
so close.
It is, and it's just a testimony to how fed this Jinx is going to be as well. Dealing with her is going to be insanely difficult because, yes, you'll have to lock down from the side of Kasing, but there's a Tahm Kench to deal with that. So either you find the perfect the insect, or you just don't kill the Jinx.
Well, this is the thing, right? Are you going to have to make sure that Duel isn't near Odie? Do you have the facilities to do that? As we might see a dive in the top side, Fury goes gone as Tempt has to run out to get rid of tower aggro. Shockwave lands. Kasing is going to be the next one up here as well, so I think this is probably a dead Ahri. Tempt just holding on, but Fury doing so much good work. Goes down eventually, but you talked about him maybe not having had the best season.
Oh yeah, but that's a lot of resources as well from the side of X7, so what can Bifrost gain on the other side of the map in the bot lane?
Ooh, and nah, they can gain onto the Vayne, and with C-Boy there as well, that's one dead Jaeger.
That's exactly that, and you can continue with the bot lane, so it's 1-for-1 on kills. You get the turret in the bot side, but yes, what's that? In the mid lane, Odie, Joel, they're able to freely push up the mid lane due to the fact that Bifrost just invested way too many resources, and then Rocket comes out to stop the reset from Kasing, not sure what that is about, but C-Boy onto Drake as well. Just getting another neutral objective, and there we have it. You get one kill on the top side. Yes, Tempt will inevitably be able to get the top turret as well, but look at the net exchange on the other side of the map.
It's looking so good for Bifrost right now, and yeah, X7 take little things across the map in response, but they're not gaining anywhere near as much as Bifrost are. And you look at the gold lead, it's looking nice for them. They got themselves 2 dragons as well. Look at this individual gold. Yeah, look at the Gnar versus Vayne.
It is quite a big gold lead as well for Shikari. Actually, Nata.
He's thinking about it, looking to try and get the explosion, but I don't know if he's got the damage just yet.
He's dead.
Gonna be taken low. Yes, he does.
You've never been cheesed by an AP champion.
I don't see that many AP. Well, I play tanks, so he can't do that to me.
Well, you know what? That's fair. Good call out. But as an AD carry, recalling like that, those 4 shots, the pop, especially with red buff as well, you're absolutely dead.
C-Boy's hanging over the wall. Haru hasn't seen him yet, but there's the wards going down. They know that Volibear, they knew that something was afoot as Bifrost move in to defend.
Now, with Odie down, it is a little bit of a downtime as well for Bifrost. And X7, they can utilize this to get some pressure in the red side jungle. Not only this, they can facilitate a push from Jaeger down towards the bot side, because they'll have to respect the pressure he has. But Bifrost, they're posturing as they're looking for a pick.
Well, Gnar going big is their good opportunity to do so, but weren't able to grab anything just yet. Tempt and Fury continuing their laning on the top side this time around. Tempt has not been having the strongest games so far, building towards that Fimbulwinter, try and keep himself alive as Jaeger gonna grab himself a plate down in the, well, a tower down in the bot side as Fury does the same top.
Yeah, exactly. So still, once again, a trade-off of objectives here. Shikari's making his way down towards the bot side. Fury can continue with this push. C-Boy's there to shadow him, while Bifrost, bot lane, Odie, Joel, gonna reclaim the wave in the mid lane. But I wonder, there is a Rift Herald in hand. 600 gold if you can get this. And yes, there it is. It's deployed with the threat of a tower dive from the Volibear ultimate.
Tempt is defending on its own right now. Dodged away from the Winter's Embrace, and
you know, that's a bluff from Tempt. That's literally a bluff. That's just like, I'm going to step up as if I had my teammates right behind me because they're coming in of a reset. But Bifrost, for sure, with the resource they had, could have been able to take that turret, walk away with either Spirit Rush, Volleyball Ultimate, you name it. But Tempt literally just walked up, postured as confident as if he had the teammates right behind him.
Which he didn't.
No.
So it's a very good bluff, handful of nothing, and still manages to survive. The tower's low, but it is still there as Jaeger moves up now to clear out the minion wave and make sure that it's not going to go down uncontested. But 20 minutes now, Baron is here. Double marksman on X7's side. Yes, one of them is AP. Are they able to do this Baron super fast without necessarily getting a play from Bifrost?
I mean, it's going to be a mistake if that does happen because, like, you will always have control around the Baron area from the side of Bifrost just due to the fact of how much we're actually playing with the side lanes here and how much we're playing with the mid lane as well. You've taken the outer and inner turret currently. Like, starting up a Baron out of nowhere from the side of X7, that's just not going to happen. And now Jaeger pushed up decently here. He's not spotted the Bifrost members moving up either. And oh no, Jaeger dying on side.
No, don't do it. C-Boy's coming on through, going to pop the ultimate, running away as fast as he can, but will be caught out. And that's the CC that you need. Jaeger dancing around a little bit, but doesn't survive too long as it's going to be Fury securing the kill.
Yeah, and that's what it means for you to have that mid lane push in. That's what it means for you to have that deep vision with pink wards. And Jaeger, quite honestly, just disrespecting the fact of how freely Bifrost could move around. Now with a member dead, you can push in the mid lane. You can capitalize again on the top side. Try and see if you can get out some vision even deeper in the top side here. So you can get that inner turret, those 600 goals. Looking real juicy up there.
Not looking great for X7 right now. And for a team that's been so dominant this season, what are Bifrost doing that's just dismantling them?
They may just be X7 Kryptonite as well at this point. This is his second time in a row. Well, I say this is the second time they face off as well, right? So saying in a row doesn't really mean much, but I think X7 also came out with a very unorthodox draft yet again. This time around, bot lane didn't fall completely behind, but being attacked in the mid lane, searing Hauro and Temp behind like this is not something we've usually witnessed.
Yeah.
Usually they are the one dictating the plays. This time around, with Temp down 0-2 with the mid lane completely open, X7 with a comp like this might struggle a little bit.
And I mean, look, there's Vayne, there's Twitch. You've still got late game options as Nata going to get slowed up. Needs to be a little bit careful because there are Bifrost members hanging around out of vision, but will be caught up by that red ward.
The thing is, you don't have teleport on Jaeger either. Like, this is going to be sole point if Bifrost picks this Drake up. It's spawning in 10 seconds. And by the moves of X7, they're posturing as if they want to try and contest it. But the only reliable sort of vision they have currently is the Scuttle Crab. Oh, this could be. You talked about it. You talked about it, but they will spot Kasing on it. And you can just let 2 members solo the Drake, while the rest of the members, yeah, there you have it. Rocket face checks Nata. They know Nata is not on it. They've watched them with the E. Yeah, it's just over. They get the Drake, and with the caution and presence of mind, Bifrost is able to not get traded out on the top side of the map.
Very good response from Bifrost, even though X7 maybe could or couldn't have done it quick enough. They were like, no, we know that we don't need all 5 members on this dragon. If they're elsewhere, let's go make sure they're not doing anything useful.
Especially right now, because Fury, he's just pushing in the bot side, and currently no one's able to respond to it. C-Boy, he's going to be able to stop this recall as well. So X7, they are out in the macro, currently on the page in the macro book, where you're trying to cheese it a little bit, where you're going for plays that's going to lose you out on the map, but might be high risk, high reward in terms of finding a pick. But currently, they're not finding it. Bifrost, they're smelling out the bait, and they're not biting it.
No, they're not biting at all, and they're grabbing everything. It's not just a case of saying, we're not going to make the plays that are mistakes. They're making practice plays elsewhere that are working. They've got themselves onto Dragon Soul Point, which has been a win condition in every game we've seen so far today. Hex Dragon is huge anyway, and Bifrost have the lead.
Especially with 3. I mean, you get those 8 extra ability haste and attack speed. You're already on 12. Get yourself on 18 in just a bit. I mean, that's just quite a bit.
It is. It's not a good time. And considering Bifrost already have a good lead pretty much everywhere, it's going to be disastrous if X7 let this one go down. They have to contest the next one in 3.5 minutes time. Baron is still a threat if Bifrost get a pick and can take that as well. And honestly, what can X7 do to try and get themselves back into this game?
Well, you still have some reliable side lane once the Vayne item starts coming through, but you can't really wait for that at this point. So you gotta stick to what we've seen from them so far. You gotta find a pick. You gotta be creative about it. But Bifrost, I mean, if they're not biting, you're not finding that pick. And if you're doing it in a group scenario, Jewel is there in the Tahm Kench to make sure that OG, Fury, They're not falling either.
Oh, it's actually going to be Tom Gets engaged on, but decent amount of damage coming through onto Kseng. He has to back away. Duel goes low. Kick out onto C-Boy. He's going to be the one that's eaten up to survive. X7 almost make a pick work, but Shikari's coming in. He's pretty good. The damage coming through is big. Fury has to go gone, but Shikari on the backline only catches one in the end. The ultimate from Jinx goes wide as they're trying to get the damage down. No one's fallen just yet as Jaeger catches out the Nars. Shutdown going on to Kseng, and now they're going to take the Realm Warp directly to the Baron. Do they have the health bars?
Yeah, they can go for this, but C-Boy here's around, has to flash, has to smite, and has to volley by ultimate. I don't actually think they can go for this. I think they're going to be too low in the pick. X7, they'll have to kite back.
They're going to have to back away from this one. Too many moments of Bifrost, too high health bars. Temp dodging away from that charm just about. It was a good call, but they couldn't make it work. But X7, first signs of life.
And honestly, brilliant team fight because they do so in a way where Bifrost are not all 5 members there. They're not in a cohesive setup. So a pick onto Jewel, yes, he's the Tam Kench, yes, he has the thick skin, but once you don't have that reliable front laner that can walk up or even have the gobble up for your low AD carries, AP carries, it's just not going to do you much. Fury steps way too far forward, and whilst you carry, I see the highlight play for you here as well, mate. I see it. It's just a little bit of an overstep that's making sure that Temp and the rest of X7 can kite you out.
I really love the turn from Jaeger in that fight as well. It's just keeping everyone under tower. C's not coming through it. It's like, this is the condemn angle. This is the pickup. And while X7 don't gain that much on the play, because of course they couldn't get the Baron, they couldn't get any towers off the back of it, they're showing that they can still go toe-to-toe. And Duel just going to be the target for Nata, who just opens up on him, not going to be able to
Disgusting.
But it's just loads of damage onto a really tanky member. And if you can take the Tahm Kench down, he's not protecting anyone.
Yeah, scratch that. New win condition. Nata, he gets access to that backline with the range on multiple members. They're going to get shredded. Pink Wards needs to be invested in from the side of Bifrost. And currently, the only one with inventory space for it is C-Boy and Jewel.
Jaeger on the side, once again, has that whole breaker on the vein, has now picked up the Kraken Slayer as well. So he's going to be able to put a decent amount of damage down if he's given the opportunity to do so. Now it's the question of what Bifrost want to do. They're going to be playing for this soul point, you've got to imagine.
Yeah, but let's take stock at the map as well. Oh, C-Boy, let's just take a chill real quick.
Oh, calm down, as though Jaeger's trying to get the damage down. C-Boy going low, going to be the one who's eaten up, and Duel, that's a good save, but now they don't have it potentially for the Baron fight.
That's the thing, look at all the vision currently, right? It's such a Drake-favored situation for X7. The map state is completely reliable for them. Bot lane is pushed in, mid lane always shoved in as well by them. And all of a sudden, a map state we set favored Bifrost just 5 minutes ago has been completely flipped, and they'll need to fight their way back for it. Shikari has gone Mecha, 20 seconds for Drake. This is the moment where you look for the fight of the vision.
Yeah, Bifrost moving in as 5. Remember, Tempt isn't there, has teleport, but it might take him a little bit of time to get there. Shikari going for the ultimate onto the wall, finds Kseng on the side. Haru gets half held by Fury, but they're just gonna take down the Nautilus. It's easy as that. Nata runs down, and it looks like there might be another contest over this Dragon, though. Still, 2 big damage sources available for X7.
They still have to go for this exactly, X7. No Mecha now, though. No reliable engage, and Nata is around.
Duel is the one who's taking damage. Gets onto Odie. Vayne is there, but they're not going to be able to do anything because the rest of X7 is melted through. Yes, they take down Odie, but it's 4v2. Tempt running forwards. Will this Dragon go down? It will be Soul, remember, if they can secure it. It's simple as that. Bifrost trade Jinx for the objective. Tempt looking to get away. Can't get into the Arcane Realm Warp, though. And Bifrost secure yet another kill.
And just like that, Soul for the side of Bifrost is the Hectech. It's 18%. And you're going to be slowing now, which is great for landing charms. Fury, fancying a fight with Jaeger.
Jaeger, it's 2v1. How are your feet? How are your shoes? He tries to get damage down. Duel eating up Ari to keep him alive for a second longer. Will be able to take down Tahm Kench, getting 1, but loses his life. And that was a very delayed ace for Bifrost.
Yeah, but I mean, Jewel was so far ahead. That was even a shutdown from the side of Jaeger. But I want to talk about the charm we'll see later from Fury. Initially, it's a very good pickup here because just taking out the main engage here from the side of X7, there's no way for you to reliably re-engage. And just like this, they get to be first on the objective. But have a look at Fury. Have a look at the flash charm to come out in the middle of it all, finding Nata there as soon as he opens up with the spray and pray. Haru left just wondering what happened to his carry and gets taken down by the damage of Shikari. Another great charm onto Temp, forcing him to flash, and then inevitably killing him afterwards as well. So now Soul point, or Soul concluded for you.
And that last fight didn't have Odie in it. He was assassinated and killed by Jaeger on the backline. So that's what they could do without Jinx.
It's scary, right? And it is a dire situation, even on the side of Odie right now. He's currently building a more Mortius as well. Like, he knows that AP damage from Twitch is going to be scary. And Bifrost, they've started up the Baron. I mean, you need to be able to zone Haru away. You don't have too many tools for this. You need to push in the mid lane as well.
Fury going to go towards Nada. He hasn't got any support. Needs to dodge away from the charm. Will be able to do so with the flash as X7 tried to run away, but Kasing once again is the one who's caught out. He goes down so quickly. It's C-Boy who secures the kill as Jaeger dives away. Tempt still isn't here. He's bot as Bifrost move back towards the Baron.
Yeah, Haru's still alive though, but vision control and complete domination of Bifrost at the moment. You can see the two pink wards on top here. Fury playing guard dog as well. Let's see what a charm can do.
Charm lands onto Nata, but is looking to get damage onto Haru as well. Jaeger moving forward. Can't get too much damage, but Bifrost is still going to be able to take this Baron down. There's no chance that anyone gets near it. And just like that, it's Baron buff on 5.
Thank you, Mastercard. Baron power play has been activated, and now with lanes to push out, this is where we want to see Bifrost get aggressive. Especially because they already have that mid turret. We've been talking about it. This is where we want to see them play for the side lane. Push in the mid lane, use the Baron buff, start sieging turrets. If they overstep from this side of X7, but you got Volibear, you got the charm. Like, there's a lot of pick potential you can use to utilize this sieging.
I'm just racking my brain thinking, what can X7 do? They have a decent late game champions, but I just don't see how they get there.
And it's the composition as well. I mean, you'll have to be cheeky about it. You'll have to come from multiple flanks. If you do a standard front to back, you're just going to be losing out. We've seen Nata get behind them before as well. It's been working out for them. He's working toward a Riftmaker as well. For that extra sustain for the Vayne as well. Have finished up the Kraken Slayer and Rageblade. So taking care of the front line can be crucial, but you get caught off guard all the time. There's no cleanses to work with on the Vayne. It's only Nata that has one active. And even then, there's still extra CC to pile down on you. There's this slow you get from the Hextech Drake. So now Bifrost, they're putting themselves in sieging positions. They're keeping the mid lane pushed in. Haru looking for Fury.
Finds him. I don't know if he wanted to find him in the jungle on his own, though. Is Haru going to get taken very low? Might actually go down. He has to get the kick defensively. And it's going to be Odie securing the kill. And what can you do?
But they're desperate. That is a pure desperation move from Haru. You saw he was working around the field of vision there. He wants to get behind someone who's oversieging, but he's just found out and no one's in a position to equalize on a pickup. And the siege will just continue from Bifrost.
Two lanes as well. Actually, they're going to move just towards this bot side. They're not only spreading stuff out across multiple angles. They just want to take down X7 under this tower. Remember, C-Boy is there. Has the ultimate going to be jugged in by Kasing, but Jaeger's already dead. Kasing goes the same way. This could be it. X7 are routed from the map. And just like that, yes, X7 are good, but Bifrost, they're just better.
Bifrost for sure is the kryptonite of X7, and they prove it once again while they keep their chase for top 2 alive here with XL falling earlier today. And now X7, Bifrost is in good top 2 contention.
There's a world where Bifrost win the regular season. They've kept it alive in fantastic fashion. They weren't